Well, happy Monday, everybody. Hope your week is off to a great start. Mine's been good so far. I finally buzzed my hair. What little I have left, that is. Um, After letting it grow since the start of the quarantine, we zoomed with our grandkids last night, and one of my grandsons took a look at me and he exclaimed, "Grandpa, you have hair!" It was long enough to start becoming a little bit messy, long enough almost to comb, and that's the longest I've had it for more than 20 years. So anyway, I whacked it off this morning, so now I'm back to looking like Uncle Fester with a mustache, I guess. Um, Today, first pages will be Robert Graves' 1934 historical novel I, Claudius. I was introduced to the book via the BBC miniseries that PBS aired in the 1970s. It's really well done. So here then is the first page or so of I, Claudius by Robert Graves. And I think I'm going to read it on my screen. I'm trying to get away from printing the paper. I don't have the book anymore, so I'm going to just do it on the screen. So that'd be kind of weird. We'll see. Tiberius, Claudius, Drusus, Nero, Germanicus, this, that, and the other, for I shall not trouble you yet with all my titles, who was once, and not so long ago either, known to my friends and relatives and associates as Claudius the Idiot, or that Claudius, or Claudius the Stammerer, or Claudius, or at best as poor Uncle Claudius. Am now about to write the strange history of my life, starting from my earliest childhood and continuing year by year until I reach the fateful point of change where, some 8 years ago, at the age of 51, I suddenly found myself caught in what I may call the golden predicament, from which I have never since become disentangled. This is not by any means my first book. In fact, literature, and especially the writing of history, which as a young man I studied here at Rome under the best contemporary masters, was, until the change came, my sole profession, and interest for more than 35 years. My readers must not therefore be surprised at my practiced style. It is indeed Claudius himself who is writing this book, and no mere secretary of his, and not one of those official annalists either, to whom public men are in the habit of communicating their recollections in the hope that elegant writing will eke out meagerness of subject matter and flattery soften vices. In the present work, I swear by all the gods, I am my own mere secretary, my own official analyst. I am writing with my own hand, and what favor can I hope to win from myself by flattery? I may add that this is not the first history of my own life that I have written. I once wrote another, in 8 volumes, as a contribution to the city archives. It was a dull affair, by which I set little store, and only written in response to public request. To be frank, I was extremely busy with other matters during its composition, which was 2 years ago. I dictated most of the first 4 volumes to a Greek secretary of mine, and told him to alter nothing as he wrote, except where necessary for the balance of sentences or to remove contradictions or repetitions. But I admit that nearly all the second half of the work, and some chapters at least of the first, were composed by this same fellow, Polybius, whom I had named myself when a slave boy after the famous historian, from material that I gave him, and he modeled his style so accurately on mine that really, when he had done, nobody could have guessed what was mine and what was his. It was a dull book, I repeat. I was in no position to criticize the Emperor Augustus, who was my maternal granduncle, or his third and last wife, Livia Augusta, who was my grandmother, because they had both been officially deified, and I was connected in a priestly capacity with their cults. And though I could have pretty sharply criticized Augustus's two unworthy imperial successors, I refrained for decency's sake. It would have been unjust to exculpate Livia and Augustus himself insofar that he deferred to that remarkable, and let me say at once, abominable woman, while telling the truth about the other two, whose memories are not similarly protected by religious awe. Feels sort of like I should have done all that with an English accent.